Okay, so today I decided to give the lung. so some students are missing, but I think someday maybe I will, I don't know, maybe personally give them. But I decided to give the lung today, the oral transmission of the Heart Sutra, because we finished the Heart Sutra. So I'll read this, although in the West it's not really kind of considered as not very important, but I think in the future you will realize that it's really, really important. So, because from my own experience, what it does is it actually you receive the unbroken lineage of the teaching from all the way from Buddha to the present teacher. And also it personally helped me one time when I was having a little hard time understanding that particular text on, actually it was Guhya Samaja text. So then I received lung, it was just a lung, it was not actually she lung, just a lung, oral transmission. Not explanatory transmission, but it was just simply oral transmission. But really, it helped me understand to understand the Dharma, to text much easier than before. So I thought, oh, there is something in it, you know, because the Lama say that when you receive the blessing, that will make you, of course, bless you and also make you understand the text much better than before. So it was my experience that I really felt the benefits of receiving that oral transmission. So today I will receive I will give this oral transmission, and I received it from one of the successors of the Gomde Lharampa. So Rinpoche's name was Losang Nyima Rinpoche. He was next to Gomde Lharampa, and very holy master, extremely great master. So when I was Gyutu in Gomde in East India, so I just entered the Gyutu monastery. I finished my Gishi degree, and then all the Gishis has to actually go and study Tantra, either Gyutu or Gyume. So I belonged to Gyutu, so I went to Gyutu monastery and studied. So I was very lucky that Rinpoche was there. And so Rinpoche gave all the lungs. Like I received 4 volumes of lungs. I'm quite rich in that sense. I'll tell you one story. Maybe I told this before. One time I was with my student in Mysore, and in hospital. So then somebody came toward me, and that was a Tibetan middle-aged man. And then he came to me, and he was kind of handcuffed, and he has like chains on his feet and all over. And then 2 policemen were also with him. But they were all very friendly, you know. The policemen were very friendly. So it looks like they know him quite well. So he came toward me and he told me that, would you please give me a lung? You know, like he says lots of prayers. And then could you please give me a lung? So then I didn't have lung at the time. And I felt so sad at the time, really. I couldn't really fulfill his small wish. And he's a prisoner, and he will be in prison for several years, I guess. He told me a story that he took the blame of his brother. I think his brother killed somebody, and he took the blame. So in reality, he was innocent. So anyway, so that at that time, I felt really sort of sad, because I couldn't really fulfill that small wish of his. So then then now, after receiving all these 4 volumes from Rinpoche, now I have almost all the, like sadhanas and lung of sadhanas and small texts that we recite all the time. So this is one of them. So it was 1993, June 1993, June 7th, 1993. So it's good to write down because you need to really start doing that. It's very important. You need to take a kind of a note and say, I received this lung. But someday you will definitely need this. Some of you will definitely teach other people. Then if you are not sure, then you can't say, I received this lung. You can't say that. You have to be 100% sure. See, this one, when I went to Sarah, I thought that I found a treasure there, because I thought I didn't know that I had received all this lung. Then I saw my little this notebook, and I just picked that up, and I saw all this lung, everything in detail, so much detail. I was so overjoyed by that book. So, and I write down all of the lungs that I've received from Rinpoche and many other teachers. So this is one of them. Hello. So it was June 7th, 1993, and if you want a time, it's 8:41 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So Lobsang Nyima Rinpoche, one of the 2 successors to the Ganden Chiba. So very holy master. So I will read this text. So you don't have to understand this. You can just if you hear this, merely hearing this, you will receive the lung or the transmission, oral transmission. So I will say this in Tibetan, same thing as English. You will receive the blessing from the former teachers. Jagar kedo Bhagavati Prajna Parameda Hirdaya Pyokedo Chumdendema Sharaji Paridu Chimi Nimbo Chumdendema Sharaji Paridu Chimala Chatselo Digedagi Tuba Tijina Chumdende Javik Chagu Fumborela Genongi Gundi Chumboda Chanjusan Gundi Chumboda Tabjudu Shude Tize Chumdende Samona Shejevi Chujinandangi Tingenzela Nyambrashoso Tize Chanjusan Basambajimo Papa Chirese Sharaji Paridu Chimasama Japanila Navadaji Fumbongo Tetalan Shinjunoma Dao Tene Sanji to Southern Sharabe Chanjusan Chirese Onjula. The Gajan Mesojarebo, Region, Sharajan Pari, the Chimba, Same Java Chuba, the Chedala, the Gajan Mevana, Chanju, Zamazama, Chiles, Onjui, Sedan, the Mashara, the Dibola, the Gajan Meso, Sharibo, Region, Macala, Sharajan Pari, the Masam Chuba, Same Java Chuba, the Daranavata, Pumonga, the Dalan, Tombana, Bayanta, watches of Tao, Sudomba, Tombani, Sole, Tombani, Mayan, Tombani, Social Mayan. Dejendo Zawadan, Dijon, number 7, no, Sharibo, the Davan, Chudon, Tombani, Sinimeva, Majeva, Magawa, Timama, Timadan Tawa, Tawa, Tiwameva, Dewameva, Kawameva, Sharibo, the Davan, Tombani, Sumin, Sawami, Dijim, number 7, Mingman, Nomi, Chimmy, Lumi. Yime, Sume, Dame, Timero, Merexam, Sume, Miki, Kame, Vani, number 7, Mariva, Zeva, and Gashime, and Kashi, Meadow, Dijino, Dongawa, Kunjawa, Donkawa, Lami, Tawa, Madova, Sharibo, the Dimension, Samano, Tova, Sharaja, Pari, Chimba, Sharaja, Pari, Chimba. The law degenerated similar to Wamija, Tower made the Shinjolo, Shindo, and Young Ellen, Tara Chindo. Tuzundo, number of Sanjay Tamja, Sharaja, Pari, the Chimba, Samola, the Mandela, Lana Meva, also with Chanju, Momozo, San Jeso. 대답변에 셔러제 바르도 치면가 리고 치면가 라나 메면가 미냐바다 냐바르 제변가 동해 동자라도 제바 제변가 미제변한데 버셔바제 셔러제 바르도 치면가 메바 대야다 가데가데 파라가데 파라삼가데 뭐디 소 셔레보 전주선바 선바진보 좀 남제 대다라 셔러제 바르도 좀 삼모라 라브라 차오 되네 좀 되게 텔레션데 전주선바 선바진보 선바진보 바바제레제 원줄라 레소 셰자와진네 레소 리지보 대대신노 리지보 대대신데 지달치지 템바 신도 셔라제 파르도 좀 삼모라 제브라사데 티제와남네 제수이랑 좀 되게 제가전에 저단도 셔레보던 전주선바 선바진 뭐뭐저런 원주도 탐제단데 코라데 다단 하다면 하마에다 제자지비지데 이런 좀 되게 제송발랑원바데 노 Okay, so we finished the lung, it's called lung. And there are several types of lung. One is called lung in Tibetan. Maybe it's good to know this word, few words from Tibetan, like lung. And also it is called also lung ti. And lung. Lung means just oral transmission, that you don't need any explanation. Simply hearing that will receive all the blessings from all the teachers starting from the Buddha. And lung is very, very important. Lung means explanatory transmission, which teacher reads all the texts from beginning to the end, not even leaving out even a single word. So if you leave a single word, then if the teacher leaves out a single word, the student has to actually follow the text and tell the teacher you left. So then teacher should read it again, and then and you can't sleep or you can't talk to each other. You can go to washroom and so on. If you go, then you haven't received complete lung. That means you can't give it to other people. So lung is so important. Lung, very important. She means explain. Lung means transmission. So explanatory transmission. Teacher will read and also explain the meaning. It's called lung. And there is called ti, which is just explaining the text, which doesn't require to have the lung or the transmission. Let's say I receive 100,000, 8,000 verses of this Prajna Paramita, but some other things, like other texts which I haven't received lung, then I can actually explain that text to you, but it's not lung, it's ti. It's called ti. Lung and lung, same, very important. When somebody says that the teacher says lung, then you have to be extra careful, and teacher also has to be extra careful. So that's about the lung and lung. And then why do we actually recite the Heart Sutra? There is a story behind it. So when Buddha was alive, so in the history of Tibetan Buddhism, they say the gods and semi-gods, I think it was the Indra, and the Surya and Asura, so god and semi-god, they have a big battle. And the gods were really badly defeated by the Asuras, or the semi-gods. So then the Indra went to Buddha saying, please help me overcome this or defeat them. So the Buddha suggested that you should recite Prajna Paramita texts in order to conquer the battle. So then they did. They all recite that, and then they conquer the battle. So that's why we do the Heart Sutra. There is something. But Heart Sutra is not just to get rid of the obstacles, but all the obstacles. Today we are going to talk about that, of course. So all the content of the Heart Sutra is so powerful that just meditating on emptiness. Any time when you are sick, you go to His Holiness Dalai Lama, what would he suggest? His Holiness always suggests, oh, you meditate emptiness. Even you have like depression, meditate number 1. And if you have some kind of mental problem or physical problem, any kind of problem, His Holiness always says, meditate on emptiness, number 1. And bodhicitta, compassion. So that's why this meditating or the emptiness is tremendous. So it can almost deal with any kind of problem. Okay, so that's a little story. And so now I'll try to finish the leftover from the meditation last time. So this will be a little different. So I'll try to. Last time it was a little difficult one because of the topic. So so now what we are going to do is meditate on emptiness today. Meditate on emptiness. How to meditate on emptiness. So so it's not that easy to meditate on emptiness. So now we have to first we have to actually explain a little bit what emptiness is. When we say emptiness or voidness, sometimes we think it's like we mistaken emptiness for nothingness. There's nothing. So sometimes we mistaken emptiness and nothingness, but it's very close. Even in Tibetan, tongbanyi, like empty, empty part, similar. But that doesn't mean nothingness at all. Emptiness is actually what emptiness is the real nature, the true nature of phenomena. So what we are trying to do today is try to find out the true nature of all phenomena. So, meaning, let's say, as I said before, when you define like what is the nature of fire? Fire is hot and it can burn, and water it can wet, it can also grow, things like that. That's also the fire's nature. But fire, that's not all the nature, ultimate nature of fire. It has more deeper nature, which is called ultimate nature. So that's emptiness. The emptiness of the fire is the just ultimate nature, just very end. There's nothing more deeper nature than that. So that is called emptiness. So emptiness is all about the true nature. True nature of things called emptiness. So, Buddhism believes that we are mistaken in the true nature of phenomena, or let's say we are mistaken. We have the misconception of ourselves. We have misconception. When we say I or me, we have misconception. There is something wrong. We perceive very differently than as it existed. So existed some different way, and we are perceiving it a little different than that. So we are a little contradicted than true nature. So today what we are trying to do is see how we perceive ourselves, how we see like me when we say I, how we look at I, how we perceive ourselves as a me or I. How do we see? So when you look, we definitely kind of exaggerate. When we see ourselves, we exaggerate, we make mistakes, we add something that it is not there. So now we have to find out how we look at ourselves. So this is what we are trying to do. So now it's a little clear, right? So we think that we are mistaken, or we have misconception of the true nature, especially if you say to yourself that like me or I, so we are mistaken about identifying ourselves. We kind of we have a wrong misconception of the I or the self or the me. So now we have to see how we perceive when we say I or me. And now we have to see that. In order to, but let me say, Baba Viveka, I think it was a 5th century master. Sometimes, last time what I did was this is how we teach at the monastery and in Tibetan community. But I think maybe we need a tiny change. I thought, okay, we need a tiny change in that, because Baba Viveka, I think he was from 5th century, very famous Indian master. Baba Viveka said, before going to very subtle phenomenon like self or I or me, first check with the coarse like things like body, like form, like vase or pillar and so on. Check with that and how to analyze with that. So now, instead of thinking about yourself, saying how I see myself, how the I or the me appear to me, instead of checking yourself, maybe we should leave it for a few maybe moment and try to check with the vase or something, solid things like a vase or cup or whatever. So when you look at so these we can actually see, right? So then when you try to look at I, we can see I or the self. So difficult. So Baba Viveka suggested that you should first try with the solid things like a vase and so on. So now let's look at the mug, let's look at the mug, this mug maybe, right? Or this glass here, right? And then, maybe let's start with, I quickly jumped to the actual point. But let's say, now first, let's try to calm our mind. And it will be like if you have a dirty water in a glass, and if you shake it, the dirt will just float on the surface. But if you leave it for a few minutes, all the dirt will go to the bottom, sink to the bottom. And then what you see will be just pure water. Like that kind of things will happen to us if we just, right, try to think nothing. Try to just avoid all the thoughts and sit. Right. Let's do it in practice. Let's put it in practice. Okay, we will meditate for a few moments. Just calm and try to not think anything. And you have to relax. Don't be so stiff. Just relax and lower your gaze, and don't close your eyes. Very important. Not close. Just lower. Simply lower. Now we'll start. Here we have to do nothing except just calm, keep your mind calm, and then let it just kind of thought, let the thought just kind of go away and don't think about anything. So this meditation, although it's a very simple meditation, it will definitely help to cope with any kind of problem. When we think, mental problem, like worries and, all this anxiety and fear, and definitely this will definitely help. So now when our mind is settled, then if you were to think about the I, it will be very, very effective. But right now, we will leave that I for a few moments. Now let's try and see how this cup appears to us, right? Instead of looking at the I, which is I is not tangible, so we can't actually touch. So this we can touch and see. So now we can imagine this one and see how you need to look at the glass, and at the same time, a small part of your mind has to look at that mind, how it appears to that mind. So it's kind of a very subtle mind. Part of your mind has to look at this mind. So main mind is looking at this one, right? So small part of your mind is looking at this mind and see how this appears to this one, right? Okay, so let's see. First, we can have a good look at this one, right? Glass, and then let's try to imagine and then see how it appears to us. Then we can move to the self, which is a lot harder, but we can try this time. Okay, let's have a good look at the glass. Anybody has any experience of how it appears? Or we can leave it here, right? And maybe we can discuss. So this is how you can do. Instead of jumping right to the self or the I, maybe start with the very solid objects and then see how it appears to us. And then finally go to the self. Now we have to see how the I or the self appears to us. So then that appearance is wrong. So we have to decide, we have to make, how to conclude that whatever the self appears to us is wrong. So that doesn't exist. So that's the selflessness or the emptiness of the self. So this is the what called main thing, the most important thing that we are trying to achieve. This wisdom of selflessness is the main objective of the Buddhism. So to understand that. So let's see. Now, since we calm our mind down, right, and then you have to kind of quickly say, or not with verbally, but inside your mind, you say, I, or me. So actually look, so where is that me, right? Where is that me? How does that me, or the false me, we call it false me. There is me, yes, there is me, of course. Conventionally, there is me, there is I, there is self. But for us, the self appears quite different than how it actually exists. So now we have to look how it actually appears to us, the self or the me. So let's try now. Then we will definitely we all will have different kind of feeling or the experience. So now we will calm our mind down again, and then all of a sudden, then we should say I. And if it does not arise that feeling I, then we will meditate on something like death or some kind of fearful thing. Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm dying, right? That kind of feeling. We have very fearful. When we are fearful, we will feel that I. At that time, we have a very strong, vivid, this appearance of I. So that appearance is definitely wrong. So that kind of appearance, that kind of self appears to us, and then we tend to cling on that self. We kind of solid I or the me appears to us, and then we tend to cling on that, and then that's called self-grasping. So all that self-grasping is the root of all our problems. See how important it is to really understand that. See, when we have problem, we say we have some argument with somebody and we have some problem. We think, okay, that person is the problem. Yes, that's quite true. It may be true. Maybe you are the cause of one problem, or the other person may be cause of problem. But there is, if you go beyond that, there's a kind of fundamental or the root cause of our problem, which is self-grasping. See, that I. First, it occurs to this feeling, and I appears to us, and then we grasp that. We grasp on that I. Then clinging on that, then we say I. Then we have stronger this sense of I. We have more problem we will have. Then we will say my, right? I, and then goes to my. So whoever tries to attack or harm this I, then we become very defensive, and then we try to eliminate those enemies or people who don't agree with us, and so on. So the sense of I, this strong sense of I, clinging to I, is the root of our problem. That's why we are trying to see. It's kind of very scientific analysis. See, when we have a problem, it has a cause, right? So we go back to that cause. Okay, that person is somebody who hit you on your knee or leg. That person is the cause for your problem. But then you go further, then you will find out that self-grasping, either my self-grasping or that person's self-grasping, is the main cause of this, injury or the pain. So when you talk to yourself, look at yourself, this self-grasping, I. So if you even loosen up a little bit that grasping, clinging on that I, tiny bit, we will feel immediately this relief. Even otherwise, we are so tensed. Why? We are clinging. First, it appears to us something like false. We have false appearance of ourselves. Then we cling on that, and then we validate that. Oh, that's correct. That's true. So then we cling on that. Then all problem starts. All the problem starts. So the main thing is to look at that I, and then, okay, that kind of me or the I is false. Whatever appears to us is false. It's not there. Conventionally, yes, there's I, there's me, but whatever appears to us is completely opposite of the true existence. Reality, yeah, is the completely opposite of reality. So now we have to think, okay, now let's try and see how this I or the self appears to us, how we experience that I or the self. So that's very, one has to be very kind of patient, be patient, and also slow, very slow. And then part of your mind is looking. Okay, let's try now. Let's first try to calm our mind, as we say, in Tibetan we say, lo tangi jeba, like, you making the mind, subside all the thoughts like dirt, don't thinking anything, and your mind will become very fresh and clear. And then when you have that one, then you think, me, I. So where does that me and I that appear to you? From here or outside, or where in your body? So let's look at that. So when we say I, first calm our mind down and then look, and then we'll see where does this I appear to us, from here or wherever it is. Let's try. Okay, now we'll see. We all have different experience, definitely. So can you share? Anybody wants to share? How does that I or the me appear to you? From here, which part of the body you think it appears to you? From which part of the body? Anybody? When you say I, where does it really occur or arise, that sense of I? Where?
I can't find anything physical. Like it's not. It's like a concept.
Yes, but sometimes you will have feeling. Okay, maybe it's from here, or sometimes outside too. If you close your eyes, right? If you close your eyes, so see there were five, right? 5 different appearances of the object to be negated. So this is called, this fake, false me or the I is called object to be negated. So that is, we have to get rid of that. So when you get rid of that, then you realize emptiness. So emptiness is the opposite of that. So whatever appears to us is wrong. So when we get rid of that wrong conception or misconception, then we are enlightened, or then we have the wisdom of emptiness, right? Of course, this is not easy. I'll read that from Lama Tsongkhapa text later. But see how. Sometimes when you close your eye, let's say, close your eye. If you close your eye and then try to see I, you may kind of have this experience that I is somewhere outside there, like dark. Something dark outside there, and you may think, oh, I is somewhere there. The reason why you have that experience is because you close your eye. So we always say, the masters always say, never, never, ever close your eye when you meditate. So that's so important, so important. It has many kind of reasons, many more reasons. But here, when you close your eye, then it distorts your thinking. See, it brings darkness, right? So then now you may think that I is somewhere outside there. In reality, you have to kind of appear from within yourself, within your body, not outside. So, do you have any other? Here? Yeah, that's correct. So is that like a hard, little sort of solid feeling, or it's just like what kind of feeling is that?
It's kind of uptight.
Uptight? Yes. So see, that's a little problem. I have also a little bit of uptight problem, kind of feeling. That's also a not exact object to be negated. Not correct sort of appearance. So the reason why, because your body is uptight. So see, it's very important. Like eye not closing, body relax, and then think spontaneously, not like don't try to make it. Just think how it occurs to you. It's just how it appears to you, just naturally. So spontaneously. So then you can, then you will understand, okay, this appearance is definitely wrong. It's not correct. So then you can decide that. So if you have a kind of very solid feeling here, there's a number 2 false appearance. Number 1, when you close your eyes, you will have this experience of having eye somewhere outside of your body, maybe dark somewhere outside, because you close your eye. When you open your eye, then that is easily, you can eliminate that problem because of opening your eyes. The next one, when we think I, we have very strong kind of hard kind of a feeling of hard kind of thing at the chest. So that's also not completely, it's quite good, but I think it's not completely correct, because this is the result of being too stiff. So we have to be relaxed, right? Relax our body. Just whole thing, just your skull and everything. You have to relax, and the whole body. And then you have to think, I, and then let it appear just spontaneously. Not just don't try to make it. Just see, here is the point. Most of us, it doesn't appear to us. Why? Because it lasts only a few seconds. That I sense of I only lasts for a few seconds. That's why I said last time, it's like a fast-moving object, and if you have a very powerful camera, then fast-moving objects can be captured in the camera. So that's why we have to be so careful, so calm and careful. Look, so not even not distracted, being distracted for seconds. So you have to be so focused, but relaxed. Then it occurs to you that I, or this spontaneous, this feeling of I or the me, will occur only for a few seconds. So then we have to capture that. It's like taking a picture, fast-moving picture, take a picture, and then later on you can look, okay, oh yeah, look at that picture now, see how funny it is, like that, we can tell. If you have a kind of a very poor camera, it will not capture. You see some blur picture. So we have to have a very powerful, sharp camera. Then fast-moving object, you take the picture. Same as here. So you observe that feeling, and then it'll occur only for a few seconds. Then you capture that. And then you look after that. When you capture that false kind of appearance, then you can say, oh, okay, it appeared to me like that. Okay, that does not exist. Then we can decide later. First we have to, so it takes a lot of energy and concentration. So now you got the idea, right? Everybody got the idea. So you have to sort of calm your mind down and then spontaneously, don't try to make it, but relax, and then I say I. Actually, generally speaking, conventionally, I exist. But when you have this feeling of I, you exaggerate, completely exaggerate. So that false I does not exist. So then when you say that does not exist, you hold this chest will become like empty. So relieved. I'll tell you one story I told you before. One man who was studying very hard, and one monk studying so hard. So according to Tibetan medicine, when you study and when you worry when you have lots of worry and studying very hard, then the wind element gathers in your chest, and gradually it enters into your heart. Then it's called solung. Then you have a very bad depression. Very bad depression. You can even hit somebody, or you can fight with somebody, or it's really dangerous. So that's called solung in Tibetan. So all this wind element in your body gathers here. So then this monk felt like a rabbit, actually. A rabbit came from nowhere and just entered into his chest. And then he felt this so strong here, very painful, and like stuck here. The rabbit got stuck in his chest, and now this chest is very tight, and then he can't even breathe freely. And then now he's very depressed, angry and depressed, and so now he's got a bad depression. So then he went to his teacher and told his teacher, saying, I got this, rabbit. I felt like a rabbit came from nowhere and jumped and entered into my chest, and now I'm suffering this depression. So painful here. So teacher, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of that one. I'll actually take out your rabbit. So teacher was very smart. So teacher, he somehow managed to find a rabbit, the teacher, and then said, okay, tomorrow you come to this big, kind of meadow or big plain place. Let's go there, and I'll take the rabbit. I'll just take that rabbit and I'll release that rabbit, and your problem will just disappear. So then the teacher and the student went to this big meadow, big plain place, and then he said, okay, now close your eye, and when I say look, just look, right? So then he said, then teacher had this rabbit in his hands, right? He didn't show him to this student. So then he said, look. Then he looked, and the rabbit jumped. Rabbit actually jumped off and ran away. The rabbit ran away. He felt that the rabbit actually came out of his chest. Immediately he felt that relief, this emptiness. So relieved. Actually, something really taken out of his. See, it's all mentally made, right? It's mental creation. It just no rabbit actually entered his chest. right? That's mental creation. So also the teacher's thing is also mental creation. It's nothing there, but he just created that. And all of a sudden, the rabbit rabbit jumped off and then disappeared. Then he felt immediately relief. See, same thing will happen to us. So all the time we are clinging on that self, right? False self, clinging, tighter and tighter and tighter. The tighter, more we will suffer. And more, so that's why when we have compassion, and this grip is a little bit looser now. Grip is looser because your focus is not here. Your focus goes to other people, right? So now the grip is loosened up a little bit. So then you feel relaxed. You feel much happier. You feel relief. You feel a little happier, really happier, because your focus is all there. That's why the Buddha said, all the problem came from this self-cherishing or self-grasping. All the good qualities came from cherishing others. So see, it's really true. It's really true. So when you think a little bit about other, then the focus goes out, and your relief gives you a little chance there, right? It gives us a little chance. And then the grip is loosened up a little bit. And then when you think emptiness, oh, that's totally loosened up. Lot. So this is what we are trying to do, right? So, okay, now you have if you close your eyes, you may feel that the false I is somewhere out there, right? Number one. Secondly, which I had and David also have similar experience, that tight, quite solid here. That is also quite good, but not there, because it has the problem is because we are too tight, stiff. Our body is too stiff. So antidote is to relax. Not too relaxed, but relax. And number three, which we may have, or like we might have feeling of, excuse me, when we think about this, try to see how self or the I appears, then we might have this feeling of kind of a, not a rabbit, but like a rod is stuck inside our chest. So we are very strong, much stronger feeling than before. Excuse me. The problem, that is also not correct kind of a appearance. That is caused by, according to Tibetan medicine again, the whole wind in your body and also the blood in your body goes up to upper body. So it gets, so that's why we feel so tight, and the inside the chest there is like a rod, like feeling like a rod is stuck in our heart or the chest, inside the chest. So that's also not correct appearance. And then you might also, number four, you might only see, when you try to see I, you might see just the body, only your body. That is also not correct appearance, because body is not actually, body is the basis for the basis of the self. Excuse me. So body is, you can't actually, body is not the object to be negated, because body exists, right? So if body occurs to you, so that's not the real object to be negated. So body, because body is there, is truly exist. So that's also not, excuse me, not correct appearance. And the fifth one, that's quite subtle one. Fifth one, when you try to see how I or the me appears to us, then you might see nothing, total, just empty. We might see. Probably many of us will have that experience. Not all of them, but this hardness, you know,